Creatures such as we, home, heading, play, button, play, home, back button. Creatures such as we. The living room has a cabinet that's crawling with bugs. Elegy goes in. Oh, ooh, so glad I don't have to eat anymore. The bugs scatter at his flesh. You continue on the level to the basement. You easily I love this part. Radio button, checked. 1 of 4. It won't be that scary. Radio. It's a bit much for my liking. Radio button, unchecked. 4. Next, button. A monstrosity staggers forward, moaning low and painful. Your character can smell that it's a zombie, like you, but much larger. Rip the zombie apart. Radio button, checked. Shoot its face out. Radio button. Stay hidden in the darkness. Try to reason with it. Next, button. Elegy boosts your strength as you claw through the parts of flesh. Elegy channels dark flames from your claws. Kara, a massive group of humans is beyond the next. You know it's supposed to be a script. Kite them all and deal. Exploit their size. Focus. Just run and make it to. Next, button. Just run and make it to the extraction point. Radio button. Next, button. They're slightly faster than you. You may get back to the first floor, then out the door, but once outside, they surround you. Even Elegy seems to panic. You hear from inside of you, man, I had no idea, there's no way. This can't be The camera falls down to the floor, then swivels up to catch a mass of Zorobrus before wiping to black. Of course, that's what Elegy says, but with the better. Thank yous for saving me. Radio button. Alright, let's go. Radio button. I don't believe you. You should have left without me. Radio button. Next, button. Elegy pulses and flies towards an open door. This way. I'm so relieved that you're okay. I thought you were gone back there. He adds semi-seriously, but if you ever wanted to die for real and become a ghost, I'm all for it. Your avatar laughs at Elegy. Thanks for the offer. If I ever decide to go through the process of becoming a Will-O-the-Wisp, I'll be sure to let you know so you can watch. Elegy bobs in deadpan agreement. Thank goodness you are considerate of my inner voyeur. Your avatar runs on all fours towards the extraction point. The Zorobrus follow right behind you, and it's a close shave to make it to the helicopter in one piece. But you do make it. Elegy loops a slow circle of relief before floating off into a corner and dimming, no doubt brooding on his betrayal. Should you say something? I embrace Elegy in comfort. Radio button. Checked. I say some kind words to Elegy. Radio button. Checked. I say nothing. Let him stew about it. Radio. I tell Elegy off. Radio button. I say nothing. Next, button. It's a long and awkward cutscene of the two of you both, feeling uneasy. Your avatar looks at Elegy, opens her mouth, then closes it again. It wrenches your stomach. Maybe you're being too hard on Elegy. The level ends. You take a deep breath to contemplate those consequences. Off to lunch, button. As you start to head back, your walkie-talkie buzzes with a message from Marcel. You steel yourself before reading it, so, their meeting is running long and they'll need you to cater their lunches to the meeting. You head on over to the kitchen and fill up the cart with trays, baked polenta, fried repli meat calamari, and individually ordered pizzas, with a single wine bottle and some chilled dessert. You hum as you push the cart down the passageway. Your pleasant mood deflates as you open the airlock and everyone eye daggers at your intrusion. They turn back to each other and there are a few attempts to restart whatever conversation was going on, but each sentence trails off before it even. Keep your head down and avoid drawing attention. Just serve out the food quickly. Radio button. Check. Raise spirits by enthusing about the food. Radio button. Prod about what's going on. Radio. Next, button. You pull out the cutlery sets and glasses, holding them up on display for everyone as excuses for your presence. They seem to accept it. As you start placing appetizers and drinks, Diana finally resumes their discussion. She points at James. Now, I think that he has some good points, mainly how incorporating into a larger schedule will affect grand size. I'd prefer to move on to hammering out contract details, not rehashing cold feet arguments. Especially if we're going to move forward on this project. Andres looks at you nervously at the mention. Whoa, they haven't even decided whether or not they're going to be joining up with Synthplay? You start serving out the individual dishes. You haven't given much thought to the planned merger, but now that the deal is at such a precarious tipping point, you're not sure exactly what kind of outcome they should join. Their games would improve. Radio button. They should join. Their lives would be easier. Radio button. They shouldn't join. Their games would homogenize. Radio button. Unchecked. They shouldn't join. Their lives would be more difficult. Radio. You're not certain how you feel about it. Radio button. It's not really your business, even to muse about internally. Radio button. Unchecked. You're just really curious what the project is. Next, button. You're sure that they'll figure it out. They definitely don't need your opinion on the matter. You set aside the nitrogen-cooled tiramisu dessert, then pack up your cart and head towards the airlock. James watches you pack up your things, then casually stands up and stretches. I'm going to take a bathroom break. I'll be right back. He pushes his fork around and then slowly You push your cart slowly along the passageway. I was looking forward to it too. Radio button. Check. There will be more chances. Radio button. Don't worry about it. It sounds like the meeting needs all that. Next, button. James blushes, then recovers. That's right, there's the whole rest of the week to get to chat about things. I'm looking forward to it. You do your best to affirm that fact, but your cheerful lying skills are stretched to their limit. He turns to you, face scrunched in thought. What about you? Do you think we should join up with Synthplay? I think you should join. I don't think you should join. Radio button. Unchecked. Do it. It's not my place to say. Radio. Check. Next, button. James accepts your reservations and continues musing aloud. I want to think that it would be good for the company, and good for our future. I hope things go well for you. Radio button. I hope things go well for your companies. I hope things go well, and, what's the project? So what's the project? Just don't make the wrong decision. Next, button. James puts his hands lightly against his head. I guess I just need to figure out what that means for me. He shakes it off. I guess I should actually go to the bathroom and get back in there, before they get suspicious. He hesitates and looks you in the eyes. He catches his breath, grins, waves, and then bounds off, leaving you with the empty cart. Finish your chores, button. You ignore the giggling from a small group of stewards, which quiets as you approach anyway. You smile and give a cordial greeting, and they return it politely enough. You make sure that they're informed of the change in lunch location before heading off to prepare for the next scheduled activity, gravity play in the gym. Their chatting roars back to life as you leave for the passageway airlock. You enter the gym and start looking over the equipment, the climbing wall, ropes, bars, mats, trampoline, and the flying rig. It's tedious, but someone's got to do it. The whole time, the potential consequences of their merger turn over in your mind. Soon you're joined by other supervising stewards, who wait for you to finish your duties. They sit and chat, enjoying the break. You run through the final check and glance at the clock, a few minutes over time. They're all late. Their meeting must be running even later. You really hope they don't miss this. It'll be their last official activity here. After this is just free swim time, which is optional. But then the airlock opens. Your initial flood of relief calcifies over into dread. Each of them looks pissed. The meeting did not go well. Of course, and now it's going to be your job to have to cheer them up. You make clown music in your head. Enthusiastic welcome, radio button, check. Safety well, next, button. You take a deep breath and turn the smile as far up as it will go. Now that everyone's had a chance to get accustomed to low gravity, it's time to have some fun with it. Here, you'll have a chance to play with all the equipment you want. Bounce as high as you can go. Climb ropes in the blink of an eye. Even have fun whizzing around in our flying rig. You gesture to the extra nearby stewards. We're all here to watch over you and make sure that nothing dangerous happens. Don't worry. Andres goes to the flying rig, while Grant decides to follow and watch. Diana goes for the uneven bars, and James goes for the rings. Sadri tentatively steps towards the trampolines, while Ren just sits down on the mats and swipes away at her device. Who do you help supervise? Andre, Grant, Diana, James, Sadri, even with Ren, I'll leave a one-on-one supervision up to the other stewards. Radio button. Next, button. I'll leave a one-on-one. Check. Next, button. You sit in the lifeguard chair that affords a view of everyone. You supervise as Andres is strapped into the flying harness and Grant continues to chat his ear off. Diana plays with the uneven bars like a pro. She must have taken gymnastics when she was younger. James jumps up on the rings for a minute, then gets bored and joins Sadri jumping on the trampoline. They both laugh uproariously about something. Ren swipes for a minute or so before actually putting her device away and watching the others. Andres is hoisted into the air and has a fun time pretending like he's zooming around as one of the stewards moves the controls about. Diana tries more and more complicated flips, while the bored pair of Sadri and James move onto the ropes, seeming much more satisfied with this activity. Ren tucks her device into her pocket and actually approaches the trampoline. She gives it a few experimental jumps, but seems uncertain about going higher. Your walkie-talkie buzzes. You glance down at it, a hull breach notification. Your lungs arrest themselves. Your face drops and your eyes widen. Your first instinct is to cover this up. Throw the device and break it. You take a deep breath and reassure yourself. I can handle this. Radio button. I know what to do. Radio button. Next, button. Well, but is that really true? I've prepared. I know what to do. Radio. Next, button. You take a breath again after what feels like an hour. Your mind starts to run off with itself. A hull breach. From what? A meteor. Your walkie-talkie buzzes again. It's Marcel. No doubt calling to tell you what you already know. You press accept and jam the receiver against your face while trying to avoid nervous pacing. Still have to maintain some semblance of competence. Marcel drawls out, yeah, sorry about that. Some meteoroids peppered the base, nothing too serious. We'll just need to do a surface evacuation. What the hell happened? Radio button, checked, 1 of 4. Are we okay? Radio button. Procedure says we retreat everyone to the bunker. Radio button. What do you mean exactly by surface evacuations? Radio next, button. You can hear her sucking in air on the other side before the answer comes. Well, we received a low-level threat warning of meteoroids. But you know if we had raised the shields, you mentally slap your forehead. Of course. If the shields had been raised, the evacuation shuttle wouldn't have docked. Standard safety procedures. It's all about that fucking early evacuation. She continues justifying the decision. I mean, it was really low risk, and evacuating them was the first priority. You hiss inside your head. No, it fucking was not. Procedure says that we keep everyone bunkered up here. Radio button, checked, 1 of 4. I think that we'd be better off keeping everyone bunkered here. I disagree, but I'll go along with it. Radio button. Fine, if you think an evacuation is best. Radio button, next, button. You can hear a sigh of relief from Marcel. Great. I know it's risky, but I really think that giving them a clear goal and something to focus on will really bring them all together and make them easier to work with. You won't have to deal with a stir-crazy panic. And anyway, the warning's over, and we need them all gone. Now, I know that if anyone can lead them out of this, it's you. Good luck. We're all fucked, button. We're all fucked, button. Come back in a few minutes to play the final part of exclamation mark. App switcher. Closing creatures such as we. 10, 13, reorient, 34%, control center. Low flashlight, selected, screen record.